With Copilot in agent mode, I can ask what are the next events in my community. And after working for a second, it's gonna detect that there's an MCP server I developed and configured that might be able to answer my question. And if I click continue, it says the MCP server wants to authenticate. I click allow, and this is gonna bring me to the login page. That's the actual login page of my application. I can either sign in with GitHub or with the sign in button. That's my dummy account. And as soon as the sign in is successful, it's gonna prompt me back here saying, hey, Visual Studio Code wants to authenticate to your application. And this step is actually gonna happen only the first time. It is basically discovering and authorizing the client. Now that I go back here and open VS Code, now little thing, it asked me this thing twice for now. I'm gonna find it later why. But anyway, right after authenticated from VS Code, here it now knows what user I am, and it can give me an answer specifically for my user. Or in some other cases, you might say that this user is not even authorized to access that part of data. And if you saw the previous video, you probably already know that I got these two as answer because my account is member of one community only, and this community has React Native EU and React Conference 2025, the same that I've got here in the chat. And those are just fake events. But anyway, let me show you how I set this up so you can do pretty much the same, having your MCP server protected behind the authentication so that you can either give user personalized answers or no answer at all. And the very first thing you have to do is to follow the documentation. As boring as it might seem, follow the docs is always the very first step. So what did I do here? I'm using better-auth, so I went to the MCP page of better-auth, and the first thing you have to do is to use the MCP plugin. So that's what I did. In my project, in the OAuth client, I've got the setup here of better-auth using the drizzle adapter for the database, and here, that's what I added. Pretty much the same as in the docs. The MCP plugin specifying the login page. And this is gonna be the login page of your application. In this example, I simply use the same login page, but for example, here you could set an signing MCP page that might be on a different route, or even MCP equals to true, and here you can get whatever control you want if you want to share the same login screen or pick a new one. I just went the easiest route to do the very first test. And now from here, the second step, as suggested in the docs, is to generate the schema. As the reason is quite simple, you're gonna need a few extra tables in your database, and specifically here, we got this table that is exactly where the dynamically registered client are set here in the database, so that I no longer need to ask for the VS Code authorization every single time. But since I'm also using drizzle here, it says that you have to use the generate command. So from here, you can go back on VS Code and run the command. Here, I've got the config in a different folder than usual. And with that, it's gonna execute the better-auth CLI, and it's gonna generate the table that we need. I'm gonna say yes, and here I'm expecting to see the new file with all the table it generated. So all the authentication table, it did that from scratch. But there are 3 more tables that are the application, the access token, and the consent table. In my case, I don't need to have those here as they're already in my user file, but that's exactly the same 3 tables. So once you have that, we can go to the next step. And there's a little tricky part, so follow me closely. The specification wants you to answer to GET HTTP calls to specifically this endpoint. I honestly haven't found a way to configure this. And luckily in TanStack Start, we can indeed expose endpoints and answer to specific HTTP verbs. But there's a tiny catch you have to know, and in particular, the name of the route, if you didn't notice, starts with a dot. And if you use a dot, that's a specific keyword in the routing rules. So here, well, all you have to do is really make sure to, instead of calling the file or the folder just .well-known, it's not gonna work. You have to use square brackets, and this is the right name. just a little thing. If you don't know it, you might waste few minutes, but it's in the documentation, so it's gonna be easy. And with that, I'm exposing the get endpoint, and I'm returning the handler here, just passing the request to the library function coming from better-auth plugin. It's pretty much the same. Here it's just passing this. I think it is using a next project as reference. So if it is a next project, I haven't tried, this is probably more than enough. If it's a TanStack Start project, well, as easy as that. From here, we can go to the very final step. Here, it's using the versal adapter. That's why I was guessing it is from next. And this is a function with MCP auth that should help you. But in my case, since I'm doing kind of manually, the MCP part doesn't have any library for now. I went to the second option that I assume that's pretty much the same. Here you get the session basically for free. Well, here you have to ask the session to the user and for the session explicitly, but it is no more than just calling await auth.api.mcp session and passing the request headers. So if I go back on my code, I go on the single file with all the MCP logic. Just to give you some context, this method is the handle call tool, and it's the method that it is called when the MCP client says, hey, I want to call one of your tools. So this is fired. And I go back here. And in this case, I wanted to authenticate only for one of my tools, not for all of them. So only if the tool is get user upcoming events, I first ask for the MCP session. If not, I return for one. And if I have the session, there's some interesting data you can get from here, which in particular, user ID is most likely what you're gonna need. This is just the logic of my application. All you need to know really is that you can get a session from the MCP server, and then with the session you have the user ID and you can do whatever you want for your user. Here, as you notice, it's still everything in a single file. All my MCP server is this MCP file, and I'm trying to move this to the official MCP SDK. I kind of made it work. The only thing that is not working yet is actually the authentication, and if I make it work, I'm gonna make a video about that. And with that, we have the full thing up and running. So this time, as everything is set up, if I try to replicate the exact same request, it's gonna go faster. I no longer need to authenticate myself again. As soon as it discovers that there's an MCP server, I got this open, it is using it for the session. And when I get the prompt to run my MCP tool, if I click continue, I no longer need to authenticate. I'm already authenticated, so any other request passed to the first one when I had to authenticate, it's gonna straight ahead give me the answers as it knows the user that I am right now. And that was pretty much it for today. I had a few problems testing this thing, as you also have to know a couple of tricks, like after you want to reset and try again the flow, you have to, let me do that again, call the remove dynamic authentication providers from VS Code. Otherwise, it already knows that you're authorized, so you cannot test and debug the same flow again. So when I do that, I remove my authentication. Now I can do again the thing with VS Code. So I discovered these and other little things to debug this properly, and I believe it's probably valuable to do a full 3-4 minutes video specifically on that. So don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching this one, and see you soon. Bye!